Ladies and gentlemen, taking personal responsibility is the foundation of real growth and maturity. It's easy to point fingers at other people, at society, at circumstances beyond your control, but doing so leads nowhere. When you blame others for your failures, setbacks, or disappointments, you hand over your power. You tell yourself that your life is at the mercy of things you cannot control. This mindset traps you in a cycle of stagnation, frustration, and helplessness. The truth is harsh but liberating. No one is coming to save you. No one else is going to do the hard work for you. If you want to build a meaningful life, you must take full and absolute responsibility for everything within your control. This doesn't mean you're to blame for every hardship you face. Life throws unexpected challenges at every new unfair situations, betrayal, loss, and pain. But taking responsibility means acknowledging that how you respond to those challenges is entirely up to you. You have the choice to become bitter and defeated, or you can use hardship as fuel to grow stronger. Personal responsibility is recognizing that while you may not have control over what happens to you, you always have control over your reaction and the steps you take moving forward. Growth begins the moment you stop making excuses. Excuses feel comfortable because they justify inaction. You might say, "I didn't have the right upbringing," or "I wasn't given the same opportunities." These statements may be true, but they are also limits you place on yourself. People rise from unimaginable circumstances all the time because they refuse to let their past define them. They decide to take control of their present. Personal responsibility is about refusing to let your environment dictate your future. It's about owning your decisions, your mindset, and your behavior, and understanding that these are the real tools that shape your life. Taking responsibility also means holding yourself accountable. This is uncomfortable because it requires honesty. You have to look at your life and ask, where have I fallen short? What could I have done differently? Where am I neglecting my duties? Most people avoid these questions because they expose weaknesses and failures. But without this level of self-reflection, there can be no growth. Accountability isn't about self-loathing, it's about self-correction. It's about identifying the areas where you are lacking and making a conscious decision to improve. If you're lazy, admit it and start building discipline. If you're disorganized, admit it and create order. If you lack knowledge, admit it and start learning. This is how you grow. Personal responsibility also extends to the small, everyday decisions that seem insignificant but compound over time. What you eat, how you spend your time, how you manage your emotions, all of these things add up. The person you are today is the result of thousands of small decisions. Every time you choose to procrastinate, overindulge, or avoid responsibility, you reinforce habits that keep you weak. Conversely, every small act of discipline, focus, and accountability builds strength and character. Taking responsibility means becoming aware of these small choices and making better ones, even when no one is watching. Another critical aspect of personal responsibility is understanding the role you play in your relationships. It's easy to blame others for conflicts or to believe that people owe you something. But healthy relationships require maturity, which involves recognizing your flaws, your triggers, and the ways you contribute to problems. If you constantly find yourself in toxic relationships or negative social circles, it's worth asking why. What behaviors are you tolerating? What patterns are you repeating? Taking responsibility means acknowledging your role in the dynamics of your relationships and making changes where necessary. It means setting boundaries, communicating honestly, and walking away when need, not waiting for others to fix things. Personal responsibility means taking ownership of your goals and ambitions. Too often, people wait for the perfect moment to start working toward their dreams. They wait for motivation, for support, for circumstances to align. But those moments rarely come. You have to create them. If you want something, you need to be willing to work for it, to struggle for it, and to fail repeatedly without giving up. No one is going to hand you success. You have to take it. You have to earn it. This requires daily commitment, resilience, and a relentless refusal to make excuses. It's also important to recognize that taking responsibility isn't a one-time decision, it's a lifelong practice. There will be days when you fall back into old habits, when you make mistakes, when you fail. But responsibility means picking yourself up, learning from your failures, and moving forward without blaming others. Growth is not linear. It's messy, frustrating, and often painful. But the more you embrace responsibility, the stronger and more capable you become. Taking full responsibility for your life is the most empowering decision you can make. It shifts the focus from what you can't control to what you can. It forces you to confront your weaknesses and turn them into strengths. It drives you to stop complaining and start acting. And most importantly, it transforms you from a passive participant in your life into the active creator of your future. Personal responsibility is not easy, but it is necessary. Without it, growth is impossible. With it, anything becomes possible. Life is inherently chaotic, unpredictable, and often overwhelming. No matter how much you try to avoid it, chaos is a fundamental part of existence. Challenges, failures, losses, and unforeseen obstacles will inevitably arise. Many people spend their lives running from this reality, seeking comfort, security, and ease in every possible way. They avoid difficult conversations, neglect their responsibilities, and distract themselves with entertainment or substances to escape the discomfort of chaos. But the truth is, the more you run from chaos, the stronger and more destructive it becomes. Chaos is like a storm, and ignoring it won't make it go away. The only way to grow and mature is to confront chaos directly with courage and discipline. Facing chaos requires recognizing that life will never be perfectly ordered or comfortable. There will always be uncertainty, pain, and hardship. Waiting for the perfect moment or the ideal conditions to act is a fool's game, because those conditions will never exist. Growth happens when you accept the messiness of life and move forward anyway. This is where courage becomes essential. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to act in spite of fear. It is standing up and pushing forward even when you feel overwhelmed, insecure, or uncertain. Without courage, you remain stuck, paralyzed by the fear of failure, rejection, or discomfort. With courage, you face the unknown and carve a path through it. Courage alone is not enough. Chaos can't be defeated through bravery alone. It must be managed and tamed with discipline. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's showing up every day, putting in the work, and staying consistent even when progress is slow and the results are invisible. Discipline brings structure to chaos. It allows you to take control of small, manageable pieces of your life, which over time, creates order. Without discipline, chaos swallows you whole, and life becomes a series of reactions rather than intentional actions. Starts with small, consistent habits. It might be as simple as making your bed every morning, setting goals, or sticking to a routine. These small actions create structure and build momentum. They reinforce the idea that you have control over your life, even in small ways. When you begin to master these small areas, you gain the strength and confidence to tackle larger challenges. Chaos shrinks when you prove to yourself that you can bring order to your environment. The messy, unpredictable nature of life becomes less intimidating when you realize you have the power to organize and navigate through it. Facing chaos also means taking responsibility for solving problems instead of avoiding them. Problems don't disappear when ignored, they grow and multiply. The difficult conversation you avoid becomes resentment. The health issue you neglect worsens. The financial responsibility you dodge leads to debt. Chaos expands in the absence of action. Maturity requires you to confront these issues head-on, no matter how uncomfortable they are. It requires the mindset of a problem solver, as someone who doesn't wait for solutions to appear but actively works to create them. This mindset demands both courage to face the problem and discipline to follow through with solutions. It's important to understand that chaos is not entirely negative. In fact, it's necessary for growth. Chaos is the space where transformation happens. It's where you're tested, where your weaknesses are exposed, and where you have the opportunity to become stronger. Avoiding chaos means avoiding growth. Every significant achievement, every personal breakthrough, comes from navigating through uncertainty and struggle. The path to becoming a stronger, more capable person is paved with challenges that force you to adapt and evolve. The person who grows is the one who steps into the storm, not the one who hides from it. Is forged in the fire of chaos. You cannot develop mental or emotional strength without experiencing and overcoming adversity. Every time you face chaos and persevere, you build resilience. This resilience makes future challenges less daunting because you know from experience that you can handle difficulty. It becomes a cycle of strength. Facing chaos builds resilience, and resilience allows you to face even greater chaos. This is how you grow. This is how you mature. Life doesn't get easier, but you get stronger. The discipline to confront chaos also extends to your internal world. Emotional causa anxiety, anger, self-doubt can be just as destructive as external problems. Discipline involves managing your thoughts and emotions, not letting them spiral out of control. It means recognizing when you're slipping into negative patterns and taking steps to correct them. This might involve developing coping mechanisms, practicing mindfulness, or seeking help when needed. The more you discipline your mind, the better equipped you are to handle external chaos. Emotional discipline creates mental clarity, allowing you to make better decisions and remain focused under pressure. Courage and discipline also help you distinguish between what you can control and what you cannot. Chaos becomes less threatening when you focus on what is within your power to change. You can't control other people's actions, global events, or random misfortunes. But you can control your reactions, your effort, and your attitude. Wasting energy on things beyond your control leads to frustration and helplessness. Focusing on what you can influence brings clarity and purpose. This shift in perspective transforms chaos from an overwhelming force into a challenge you can face head-on. Facing chaos with courage and discipline is about stepping into your role as the architect of your life. You can't wait for things to get better on their own. You have to make them better. You have to build order in your own world, brick by brick, through consistent effort and fearless action. Chaos will always exist, but so will your ability to rise above it. Maturity is recognizing that life is not supposed to be easy and that the struggle itself is what shapes you. The sooner you accept this and confront chaos directly, the sooner you begin to grow into the strongest version of yourself. Sacrificing short-term comfort for long-term growth is one of the most difficult yet essential principles for achieving personal development and success. In a world that constantly offers instant gratification through technology, entertainment, food, and social validation, it's easy to fall into the trap of choosing what feels good now over what will benefit you in the future. The path of least resistance is always available, tempting you with ease and comfort. But growth does not happen in comfort. It happens when you willingly endure temporary discomfort, struggle, and even pain to become a stronger, more capable version of yourself. At its core, sacrifice means giving up something of lower value now for something of higher value later. It requires you to delay gratification and invest in actions that may not yield immediate rewards but will lead to long-term success and fulfillment. This could be sacrificing hours of leisure to develop a skill, choosing healthy meals over junk food to improve your health, or saving money instead of spending it impulsively to secure financial freedom. Each of these choices requires discomfort and discipline in the moment, but they build the foundation for a better future. The problem many people face is their addiction to comfort. Modern life has made comfort more accessible than ever. With a few taps on a screen, you can have food delivered, binge watch endless entertainment, or scroll through social media for hours. These activities provide quick dopamine hits, giving the illusion of satisfaction without contributing to any meaningful progress. This constant pursuit of comfort creates a cycle where hard work feels unbearable and self-discipline becomes foreign. People get stuck in this loop, wondering why their lives don't change, unaware that their addiction to comfort is holding them back. To break free from this cycle, You must consciously choose discomfort in the present to grow stronger for the future. This doesn't mean punishing yourself but recognizing that progress demands effort and sacrifice. If you want to build a successful career, you must be willing to put in long hours, learn new skills, and face setbacks. If you want to get in shape, you must endure the physical strain of exercise and resist unhealthy temptations. If you want to develop mental strength, you must confront your fears, doubts, and insecurities instead of avoiding them. Growth requires consistent, deliberate action that often feels uncomfortable in the moment but pays off exponentially in the future. The willingness to sacrifice short-term comfort also involves understanding the value of time. Time is the most limited resource you have, and how you spend it determines the quality of your life. Every hour spent mindlessly scrolling, binge-watching, or procrastinating is an hour stolen from your future potential. People often underestimate the power of small sacrifices made consistently over time. Choosing to read for an hour each day instead of watching television may not seem significant today, but over a year, it could dramatically increase your knowledge and skills. Small, disciplined actions accumulate, while small indulgences also accumulate, leading either to growth or stagnation. Another crucial aspect of sacrificing comfort for growth is accepting that the path of growth is often lonely and misunderstood. While others may indulge in easy pleasures, you might find yourself staying up late to study, waking up early to train, or working hard when no one else is watching. This isolation can be difficult, but it's necessary. The pursuit of excellence requires a level of commitment that most people are unwilling to give. You have to be comfortable being different, standing apart from the crowd, and doing what others won't. This loneliness is temporary, but the rewards are lasting. Those who are willing to sacrifice comfort often become the leaders, innovators, and high achievers that others admire. Sacrifice also forces you to confront your own excuses. It's easy to say you don't have enough time, energy, or resources, but these are often just justifications to avoid discomfort. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. The difference lies in how those hours are used. People who achieve greatness are not necessarily more talented or luckier, they are more disciplined. They are willing to sacrifice their evenings, weekends, and comfort zones to move closer to their goals. They understand that making excuses won't change their circumstances, but making sacrifices will. Sacrificing short-term comfort builds resilience. Every time you push through discomfort, you strengthen your ability to handle future challenges. Life will always present difficulties or unexpected failures, loss, and hardship. If you've spent your life avoiding discomfort, these challenges will crush you. But if you've built resilience through consistent sacrifice, you will face adversity with strength and determination. You become someone who doesn't break under pressure but adapts and grows stronger. Sacrifice conditions you for the inevitable struggles of life and prepares you to overcome them. The rewards of sacrifice are not always immediate, and that's why many people give up. They expect instant results, and when they don't see them, they return to comfort. But growth is a slow process. It requires patience and persistence. Success comes to those who are willing to endure long periods of hard work without visible progress. This is why it's essential to trust the process and remain focused on long-term goals. Understand that every moment of discomfort, every late night of studying, every early morning workout is an investment in your future self. The payoff may not be today or tomorrow, but it will come. Sacrificing short-term comfort for long-term growth is about taking control of your life. It's about choosing what's difficult now so that life becomes easier later, rather than choosing what's easy now and making life harder in the future. Growth demands that you step out of your comfort zone and confront the challenges that will shape you into a stronger, wiser, and more capable person. Every sacrifice you make today is a brick laid in the foundation of your future success. The question is, are you willing to endure temporary discomfort required to build the life you truly want? If you are, then growth is not only possible, it's inevitable. Mastering your environment before criticizing it is a fundamental principle of personal growth and maturity. It's easy to point out what's wrong with the world, to highlight the failures of governments, societies, workplaces, or even family structures. People often fall into the trap of external criticism because it feels empowering. It allows them to feel superior without having to change themselves. However, before you can effectively critique the outside world, you must first take a hard look at your own life and ask whether you've truly mastered your own circumstances. Are you in control of your habits, your responsibilities, and your immediate environment? If not, any criticism you offer is hollow because it comes from a place of personal disorder. Mastering your environment begins with taking full responsibility for the areas of life you directly control. This includes your physical surroundings, your daily habits, your work ethic, your relationships, and your mental and emotional state. It might seem like a small thing, but something as simple as keeping your living space clean and organized is a reflection of your ability to manage larger responsibilities. If you can't keep your own room, desk, or workspace in order, how can you expect to contribute meaningfully to solving complex societal problems? The chaos in your immediate environment mirrors the chaos in your mind. Bringing order to the small things builds the discipline necessary to handle bigger challenges. People often overlook the power of managing their immediate environment because it seems insignificant compared to global issues. But this is where real power lies. The world is vast and complex, and most of it is beyond your direct control. What you can control is your personal space, your time, your behavior, and your choices. By mastering these areas, you not only improve your own life but also become someone capable of influencing the world in a constructive way. The person who can organize their own life can extend that order outward, impacting others positively. In contrast, the person who lives in disorder and chaos contributes more noise than solutions when they attempt to critique external problems. Mastering your environment requires self-discipline. It's about doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. This means sticking to routines, meeting deadlines, and holding yourself accountable. It's about recognizing that no one else is responsible for the condition of your life except you. If your finances are a mess, it's on you to learn how to manage money. If your health is declining, it's on you to adopt better habits. If your relationships are strained, it's on you to improve your communication and emotional intelligence. Blaming others or circumstances only delays progress. You cannot change what you refuse to take responsibility for. Another aspect of mastering your environment involves setting boundaries and protecting your mental and emotional space. Toxic relationships, constant distractions, and negative influences can clutter your mind and derail your focus. Part of taking control is deciding who and what you allow into your life. This might mean cutting off relationships that drain you, limiting your time on social media, or creating a more structured routine that prioritizes meaningful activities over mindless ones. When you create a supportive environment, you position yourself to grow and perform at a higher level. Self-awareness is critical in this process. You must be brutally honest with yourself about where you are falling short. This honesty is uncomfortable because it forces you to confront your weaknesses and bad habits. But without this level of self-reflection, improvement is impossible. Are you truly managing your time effectively? Are you consistent in your efforts? Or do you constantly make excuses? Are you nurturing healthy relationships, or are you fostering conflict and negativity? These are difficult questions, but answering them truthfully allows you to identify the areas that need change. You can't fix problems you refuse to acknowledge. Mastering your environment also includes taking ownership of your mindset. Your thoughts and attitudes shape your reality. A negative, victim-centered mindset creates stagnation and excuses, while a proactive mindset drives solutions and progress. You must train your mind to focus on what you can control rather than what you can't. This shift in perspective empowers you to act instead of complain. When challenges arise, instead of blaming external factors, ask yourself, what can I do to improve this situation? This mindset creates a sense of agency, which is essential for personal and professional growth. Mastering your environment requires consistency. Anyone can clean their room once or stick to a routine for a few days, but lasting change comes from sustained effort over time. Discipline must be practiced daily. Consistency in small actions builds momentum and gradually transforms your environment and life. It's not about perfection, it's about persistent progress. This consistency reinforces your ability to handle greater responsibilities and complex problems. Once you've proven to yourself that you can manage your own life, you naturally become someone who can lead, advise, and impact others. Criticizing the world without first managing your own life is a form of arrogance. It assumes that you know how to fix complex issues when you haven't even demonstrated the ability to solve your own problems. This doesn't mean you can't have opinions or advocate for change, but your voice carries more weight when it comes from a place of personal responsibility and competence. People listen to those who lead by example. When your life reflects order, discipline, and growth, your insights and criticisms become valuable because they are backed by experience and integrity. In the end, mastering your environment is about becoming the kind of person who embodies the change they want to see in the world. Before pointing out what's wrong with society, politics, or other people, focus on fixing what's wrong in your own life. This personal transformation is not easy, but it's necessary. It builds the foundation for meaningful influence and lasting impact. Only when you've taken control of your own environment can you begin to effectively contribute to improving the larger world. Master your space, master your habits, and master your mind. Then, and only then, will your criticisms of the world carry the weight and wisdom needed to inspire real change. Is the cornerstone of personal growth and success. Without it, progress becomes impossible, and responsibility is easily deflected onto others. True maturity begins when you stop blaming external factors for your problems and start recognizing that your life is a direct reflection of your actions, decisions, and mindset. Taking accountability means accepting that where you are today is largely the result of your past choices. It requires the courage to admit your mistakes, confront your failures, and take ownership of your circumstances without making excuses. This is a hard truth for many to accept because it strips away the comfort of victimhood and forces you to confront the reality that you are in control of your destiny. Blaming others or external circumstances may provide temporary relief, but it does nothing to solve problems or improve your situation. It only delays growth. Life is unpredictable, and unfair situations will arise. But how you respond to those challenges defines your path forward. When you constantly point fingers at your upbringing, society, your boss, or even bad luck, you surrender your power to change. You become stuck in a cycle of inaction, waiting for the world to adjust to your needs. However, when you take full responsibility for your life, you reclaim your power. You acknowledge that while you may not control everything that happens to you, you absolutely control how you respond and what actions you take. Moving forward is not about self-blame or shame. It's about recognizing your role in your current reality and committing to change. This means being honest with yourself about your habits, your effort, and your mindset. Are you working as hard as you could be toward your goals? Are you consistent in your efforts? Or do you allow procrastination and excuses to derail you? Are you nurturing your relationships, or are you neglecting them and blaming others for the distance that grows? These questions can be uncomfortable, but answering them honestly is essential for growth. Until you confront your own shortcomings, you cannot begin to correct them. Taking accountability also means acknowledging that success and failure are both within your hands. Many people are quick to take credit when things go well but just as quick to deflect blame when things go wrong. This inconsistency undermines growth. If you want to build resilience and strength, you must own your failures just as much as your successes. Failure is not a sign to give up or an excuse to blame others. It is feedback. It reveals where you need to improve and pushes you to adapt. Those who take ownership of their failures learn from them, grow stronger, and become more capable over time. Those who blame others remain stagnant, repeating the same mistakes. Accountability is closely tied to self-discipline. It's easy to set goals and make plans, but following through requires holding yourself accountable. Without accountability, goals become wishes. Discipline bridges the gap between intention and action. It means sticking to your commitments, even when it's difficult, and recognizing that your future success depends on the work you put in today. This might mean waking up early to train, studying late into the night, or sacrificing comfort to stay focused on long-term goals. No one else can force you to be disciplined. It must come from within, and it begins with holding yourself accountable for your daily actions. Another critical element of accountability is being open to feedback. Many people resist criticism because it threatens their ego, but accountability requires humility. You must be willing to hear uncomfortable truths about yourself and use that feedback to improve. This means listening when someone points out your mistakes or when results show that your current approach isn't working. It's not about defending your actions but about learning from them. Accountability demands that you prioritize growth over pride, accepting that you don't have all the answers and that improvement is always possible. Also extends to how you treat others. It means honoring your commitments, keeping your promises, and showing up when you say you will. Trust and integrity are built when you consistently follow through on your word. If you fail to meet expectations, accountability means acknowledging your mistake, apologizing sincerely, and making it right. People respect those who own their actions, even when they fall short. In contrast, making excuses or shifting blame erodes trust and damages relationships. Accountability is the foundation of leadership because people naturally follow those who demonstrate responsibility and integrity. One of the most powerful ways to build accountability is to set clear goals and track your progress. When you write down your goals and regularly assess your performance, you create a system that forces you to confront whether you're making progress or falling behind. This self-monitoring keeps you honest and focused. It's easy to lie to yourself about how hard you're working or how consistent you've been, but numbers and facts don't lie. Regularly reviewing your progress helps you identify where you need to adjust your efforts and prevents complacency from creeping in. Surrounding yourself with people who hold you accountable can significantly enhance your growth. When you align yourself with disciplined, growth-oriented individuals, their standards challenge you to rise higher. Accountability partners, mentors, or coaches can provide honest feedback, challenge your excuses, and encourage consistent action. However, even with external support, personal accountability must remain your foundation. No one else is responsible for your success or failure. Others can guide and support you, but they cannot do the work for you. Accountability is about empowerment. It is the recognition that you are the architect of your own life. Every choice you make, every action you take, and every habit you maintain shapes your future. When you embrace accountability, you stop waiting for external factors to change and start taking deliberate actions to create the life you want. It's a mindset shifter from seeing life as something that happens to you, to seeing life as something you actively shape. This mindset unlocks your potential because it forces you to confront your weaknesses, build on your strengths, and relentlessly pursue your goals. Excuses are easy, but they lead nowhere. Accountability is difficult, but it leads to growth, strength, and success. The moment you fully accept responsibility for your life is the moment you begin to transform it. Stop blaming others. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Own your actions, your choices, and your results. When you do this, you gain control, and with that control, you can create a future that reflects your highest potential. Continuous learning and self-improvement are essential for anyone striving to lead a meaningful and successful life. The world is constantly evolving, our industries change, technology advances, and societal norms shift. If you are not consistently learning and adapting, you risk becoming stagnant and irrelevant. Personal growth is not something that happens by accident. It requires deliberate effort and a commitment to becoming better than you were yesterday. This journey of self-improvement is lifelong, and the most successful individuals understand that learning does not end with formal education. It is a daily practice that shapes your mindset, skills, and overall character. One of the core reasons continuous learning is vital is because it keeps your mind sharp and adaptable. Life is full of unexpected challenges, and the ability to think critically and solve problems is indispensable. When you regularly expose yourself to new ideas, information, and experiences, you strengthen your mental flexibility. This adaptability allows you to navigate change with resilience rather than fear. In contrast, those who resist learning and growth often find themselves stuck, unable to cope with new demands or opportunities. In a rapidly changing world, adaptability is not just an advantage, it is a necessity. Continuous learning also fosters humility. It reminds you that no matter how much you know, there is always more to learn. This humility keeps you grounded and open-minded. Arrogance stems from the false belief that you have nothing left to learn, but true intelligence is recognizing the limits of your knowledge and actively seeking to expand it. When you adopt a learner's mindset, you welcome feedback, seek diverse perspectives, and become more receptive to change. This openness accelerates your growth and allows you to develop a more well-rounded and informed perspective on life. Self-improvement builds self-confidence. Confidence does not come from pretending to know everything, it comes from competence. When you invest time in developing new skills, expanding your knowledge, and improving your abilities, you naturally become more confident in your capacity to handle challenges. This confidence is rooted in reality, not ego. It's the assurance that you can adapt, learn, and grow in any situation. People who prioritize self-improvement are less intimidated by failure because they understand that setbacks are opportunities to learn and refine their approach. Learning also fuels passion and curiosity. Many people feel stuck or uninspired because they have stopped exploring new interests or challenging themselves. Continuous learning reignites curiosity and drives engagement with the world. Whether it's reading a new book, learning a new language, or picking up a new skill, these experiences add depth and excitement to life. They prevent complacency and keep you moving forward. When you pursue learning out of genuine curiosity rather than obligation, you tap into intrinsic motivation, making the process enjoyable and sustainable. Self-improvement isn't limited to intellectual pursuits, so it also involves emotional and physical growth. Emotional intelligence, for example, is a critical area for personal development. Learning how to manage emotions, communicate effectively, and build meaningful relationships can drastically improve both your personal and professional life. Similarly, taking care of your physical health through exercise, proper nutrition, and rest is a form of self-improvement that enhances your energy, focus, and overall well-being. Growth must be holistic, addressing the mind, body, and spirit to unlock your full potential. One of the most powerful aspects of continuous learning is that it compounds over time. Small, consistent efforts to learn and improve accumulate and create significant results. Reading just a few pages of a book every day, practicing a skill for a few minutes each day, or reflecting on your experiences regularly may not seem impactful in the moment, but over months and years, these habits can completely transform your life. This compounding effect applies to both positive and negative habits. If you neglect learning and growth, the stagnation also compounds, leading to complacency and missed opportunities. It's also important to recognize that self-improvement requires stepping outside your comfort zone. Growth happens when you challenge yourself, take risks, and face discomfort. This might involve public speaking despite your fear, starting a new business despite uncertainty, or learning a new skill that feels difficult at first. The discomfort of learning is temporary, but the rewards are lasting. Each time you push through discomfort, you expand your capabilities and increase your confidence. Embracing this discomfort is crucial for meaningful growth. Continuous learning and self-improvement also inspire those around you. When you commit to bettering yourself, you naturally influence others to do the same. Your growth can motivate family members, friends, and colleagues to pursue their own development. This ripple effect can create a positive environment where growth becomes the norm. In leadership, this is especially important. Leaders who prioritize their own learning set a powerful example for their teams, fostering a culture of growth and innovation. In today's world, access to learning resources has never been easier. Online courses, podcasts, books, seminars, and mentorship opportunities are readily available. The only barrier is your willingness to take advantage of them. Excuses like "I don't have time" or "I'm too old to learn" are self-imposed limitations. In reality, continuous learning can be integrated into daily life through small, intentional actions. Even 15 minutes a day dedicated to learning can create significant progress over time. Continuous learning aligns with the pursuit of purpose and fulfillment. Life feels most meaningful when you are growing and evolving. Stagnation leads to frustration and dissatisfaction, while progress leads to a sense of accomplishment and purpose. When you continuously improve yourself, you become more equipped to pursue meaningful goals and contribute positively to the world. Growth allows you to unlock new opportunities, build stronger relationships, and achieve goals that once seemed out of reach. Continuous learning and self-improvement are not optional, they are essential for a fulfilling and successful life. The commitment to grow intellectually, emotionally, and physically transforms you into a more capable, resilient, and confident individual. It empowers you to adapt to change, overcome challenges, and seize new opportunities. Growth requires effort, consistency, and their willingness to step beyond comfort, but the rewards are limitless. Every day is an opportunity to learn, to improve, and to become a better version of yourself. The question is, are you willing to embrace the lifelong journey of learning and self-improvement? If you are, there is no limit to what you can achieve.